What's this?
With the compliments of Superintendent Allen, ma'am.
He called in Saturday evening, Mum.
What does it mean?
Smacked left hand, ma'am.
Darling.
All waste paper, crisp packets, broken pencils will be removed forthwith. A calendar of the type advocating nude yoga. Remove it, please. Gentlemen's toilets. There is a pair of dirty football boots in a plastic carrier bag by the shower. Apparently. Get them out of the station. Finally, personal appearance. I will remind you about your haircuts. I no more expect you to look like skinheads than behave like them, but your hair should be of a reasonable length, especially at the back of the head. We do not look like the aftermath of the towering inferno in here, but we're not perfect, and we're going to be perfect. Sergeant Parrish, I want to see Mrs. Harris when she's finished.
No.
All that means Superintendent Allen's on the prowl. So it's do as you're told time. Still, these complaints of aerosol artists decorating fences and park seats. Let's get a result. Dismiss.
Mrs. Stannard? Mrs. Stannard! Hello.
Don't you touch me. Keep your bloody hands to yourself, if you can.
Mrs. Stannard, all I want to do is talk to Laura. Listen.
Everything all right, Mum? Back there.
I'm telling you, if you don't do something about him, we will.
Yeah, about who and what?
Him. Mucking about with kids.
You just give me your name and address, Mum.
Why?
Well, I take it you'll wish me to look into any
No,
complaint.
you stop me. I'm not giving nothing to nobody. What I am saying is you to do something about it, because if you don't, we'll all turn round. It'll be too late.
Protecting your property, sir.
So what do you fancy? What are they? Orphans. But one sure thing, they pull the kids.
And you like kids, do you?
We can talk, yeah. Do you?
Only I noticed you were having a bit of an altercation with that lady a few minutes ago, sir.
That was private. She say anything? She made a complaint.
Now, why should she do that, sir?
So what the hell are you doing here, then?
Shout, sir. You say it was private. I'm saying in future, just watch it.
Watch what?
Just you watch.
What's your name and number?
The dust will have to come off the extinguishers, Alice.
I don't like flicking them too hard in case they go off.
They won't go off, because they can't.
All right, then. I've never had a complaint before. Have you ever had cause to complain about me buffing?
Any comment I've made has always been about too much polish.
That's right. I make the tins last.
The squeegee bucket and mop, don't leave them in the cell passageway, put them away in your cupboard.
Joe Beck told me to leave them out. If the drunks throw up, he makes them mop it. He won't let me do it.
Quite right, Alice. They will clear up their own mess, but the bucket will be collected from the cupboard. Alice, we've got a new superintendent who's keen on all this. All right? Thank you, Alice.
All a question of new brooms and old covers, Mum.
Squeegee, bucket and mop. Why wasn't I informed Saturday night?
I was told not to bother you. Weekend and all that.
Oh, right. Mr. Hallam proceeds to nitpick the place to bits. Did he have any comment to offer on our clear-up rate? School liaison?
No.
No, just nudie calendars. And he'll be back. This is a memo.
Joe reckons tomorrow or Thursday.
What kind of mucking about?
She never said such.
When anybody tells you anything about a crime, you keep at it. Get every ounce out of it, OK?
What's this?
A woman stopped the boy David here and accused Mr. Ramsey, pet shop owner, Hartley Road, of mucking about with kids. She then skedaddled without leaving a card. You keep at it. Keep your eyes open. If you see her, call me. We'll coax something out of her, then we'll go to the shop.
I already have such.
Without a written statement of complaint?
Yes, Mum.
You better tell us what happened.
Well, he asked me what the aggro was and I couldn't tell him.
What's the training school for?
And was he angry?
Mum?
Mucking about can cover over-friendliness, common assault, indecent assault, or worse. And we shall need some corroboration, don't forget. Now, I want that woman found. I want a statement in writing, and when you go, go with the sergeant. Listen when he speaks to her and learn.
Can I help?
What form are you in?
Haven't I seen you before?
I'm an animal lover.
What? You fancy poodles? Or you're hyperactive? You run the pet shop.
I'm looking for Mark Stannard.
He's away. And who's your friend?
If he asks you anything, will you tell him we're just good friends and we're making a date?
Why should I? What time?
Pet shop. Anytime.
Excuse me, miss. Do you know that young man?
Never there when you wanted. Like bloody buses. Come in twos or not at all.
How come you got handbills for the pet shop?
Printing mad, that lad is. Oh, I know he's good at it. God knows we've spent enough money on it. Still, when he's only one, it's natural.
Young Mark.
But they're staying there. You're not going near that place.
Why not?
It's why you're here. The kind of man he is.
And what's that?
You'd know your job.
No, I don't. You'll have to tell me. And, what do you mean by mucking about?
A month ago, our Mark went down that shop on off chance. And because Ramsey's knew we wanted an handbill printed for town, Mark said he'd do it in a fortnight. And his dad and me, we agreed. So long as it didn't interfere with his studies, he could. Well, he keeps coughing, you see. Keeps him off school.
He's upstairs now.
Just let Mrs. Stannard finish.
Thank you. Mark told me he just popped in a week later to check something, some information on sheet. And while he was there, Ramsey touched him.
Where was he touched?
Behind him.
Under his clothes?
Under
How old's Mark?
13.
When did he tell you this?
A couple of days ago.
So the alleged offence took place, what, 3 weeks ago? The law of the land, Mrs. Stannard, is if a child is assaulted and they go and tell another person immediately it happens or within a reasonable time, that person, say the mother, can give evidence in a court of recent complaint. But 3 weeks after, no chance. And we'll need corroboration before we can bring a prosecution. I don't know your lad, but he knows what's what. Do you think for your own peace of mind we should have him examined?
No, I looked at him. There's no wrong.
Are you sure? In every particular?
Yes.
I'd like to see Mark.
Oh, no.
Why not?
I'm not having our name in paper.
As a juvenile, he wouldn't be named.
Have you thought, Mrs. Stannard, if he did do this to Mark, he might do it to some other lad?
That's your problem. You're not using my butcher.
Yeah?
What a pretty effect.
Until tomorrow.
Oh, you're not going to change it?
One of the tubes is on the blink. Their darkness and their shining are for plant growths.
I'm all for assisted nature. I teach biology.
Through there.
I bet you're a vegetarian because of the animals.
That and certain kinds of cooking I've been forced to partake of during my life.
Are ya? Wonderful.
On people's birthdays, yeah.
I'm 51 today. I've interrupted your meal.
No, I've done. Sit down. I'm afraid I'm out of drink.
Where are we going? For our date.
I'm new round here. I don't know the pubs.
Well, if the animals are down for the night, follow me. You may be wonderful. In fact, I was banking on it. But you're also very odd, Mr. Ramsey.
Steve.
In the playground with the police on your tail, you were cool and funny. Two virtues badly lacking in the staff room, where I spend my days growing old. Now you're nervous. Is that because you're really very dull? Don't fancy women? A liar. You hate being invaded. Or has once again the force of my death-ray personality scared the living daylights out of a presentable male? You may utter. Better.
Did you speak to that copper?
Mm-hmm.
Grassing?
Mark Stannard, where he lived, what his mother looked like.
I asked you not to.
You asked me to say we were just friends and making a date, which I did. I don't tell lies, any more than I am now. I'm here to tell you what I've done. It's equal.
I reckon you'd organise the mafia into two straight lines.
What's the bother over Mark?
He's promised to deliver some things. I need them. And for a reason she won't let on, his mum won't let me there or him here.
Why should the police be worried about that?
No idea.
Well, then ask them.
Who are you?
Anne, your date.
I come from a planet where unless you're suffering from severe brain damage, you don't talk to the old Bill. I've got a job I like and a pad to go with it. So if I shut my eyes, maybe they'll go away.
Do you want to come?
I'm not very good with lots of people.
Well, do you want us to collect some cans and soup here?
Yeah.
Do you already have classical?
Yeah.
CID can't move. They're up to their armpits.
What do they think we are?
They say if I come up with a definite statement of complaint, OK, they'll pitch in. But we've got nothing.
So what do you suggest?
We could have put him away.
All right, so you've got kids.
What excuses are for you going back to that shop?
None.
If we can't nail him, then we've got to move him on.
We'll do this right. Has he got a record?
No.
Why now if he's got no previous? You'll have to dig around. In the meantime, Gallagher can do an observation on him. Let him taste the full beauty of aching feet.
In uniform?
No, civvy jacket. No point in me talking to the boy or his parents.
Only if all else fails, ma'am.
Right, George, I want to get those office boots clear by 6.
You reckon he's dirty?
They all have to be at 74 degrees.
Where did you learn all this?
Where I was before?
Don't be so touchy. Just answer.
No.
Why not?
You ask too much.
Ah, you're hiding.
I don't trust nobody. There's falling roles in schools, right?
Yes.
Punters prefer to spend their money on things, not kids.
Like animals.
So sometime soon, like 3 million other working pecks, you might be out of a job.
Cheers.
I don't reckon you've any need to worry.
Thank you.
You can always join the police.
You don't like me asking questions. I am a curious lady. I delight in questions. I think we're wasting each other's time. Night.
Who's in charge? I want to make a complaint against one of your steaming officers, PC 7823.
My hearing's all right, sir. You just come with me.
He is good enough. Yesterday, he swanmed into my shop making allegations he couldn't back up. Yesterday lunchtime, he followed me to Barrow Lane School. Then this morning, he poked his beak into my backyard. Why? On whose authority?
You're Mr. Ramsey from the pet shop.
What is this? I've done nothing. How do you know who I am?
That's a complaints leaflet, sir. Read it carefully. And then if you still formally wish to complain about the officer, will you please phone me, Sergeant Parrish, later today, and I'll arrange for a senior officer to visit you at your home.
Just get him off my back, or I'm going to my solicitor and my MP.
Mr. Ramsey from the pet shop. Young Gallagher's been observing too close. I think I must be developing a split personality.
Could be painful.
What I really wanted to say to him was, you're a filthy little runt, and I can smell you bad. And if I had anything to do with it, I'd run a panda car over your neck. Carefully. I'm in reverse.
I hope he didn't.
No, I'll give him a leaflet.
Do you really mean it about his MP? If he's that vehement, he could have nothing to hide.
That's bluff, Mom.
My instructions were he was to be observed discreetly. Have a word with young David, will you, George? Tell him he does nothing without radioing in first.
Oh.
Right, I want to get those pocketbooks done before parade.
He seems to be just sitting listening to music.
Is he on his own?
No one's in the passenger seat.
Could someone be in the back?
I don't know. I'll try and get a better look.
Inconspicuous mind.
Yes, Sarge.
What's he doing up there, eh?
Enjoying the scenery, watching the wildlife, listening to music.
Rubbish.
7223 to Hartley.
Hartley.
I don't know whether there's anybody with him or not, Sarge. He's just sitting there as far as I can see.
Stay where you are. Sergeant Beck's on his way over to you. Out.
You reckon somebody could be in the back?
He's been very quiet for at least 20 minutes, Sarge.
All right. You take the near side. Turn that noise off. That was silly, sir. What are you doing, sir?
Listening to music.
Why can't you do that in your own home?
There are animals and people.
And you don't like people.
Not when they bug you day and night. Are you going to arrest me?
Just a routine check, sir. Sergeant Beck to Hartley.
Hartley, go ahead.
Regarding our friend, no offences disclosed. He's left. Out.
What the bloody hell is happening?
Mr. Ramsey.
Now look, I've been in here once and I've still been accused of things I don't know about. I complain
Don't
and I've
shout,
given
Mr.
bits
Ramsey.
of paper.
I can shout just as loud as you. In
Will
fact,
you
louder.
listen?
Until you moderate your voice, I am not going to know.
Oh, that's it. What's more important? The facts or me shouting? Harassment? Being accused of things I don't know about? Stared at? And now I can't even sit in a van miles from nowhere without some stupid copper spying on me.
Mr. Ramsey, if you have a complaint, make it. And when you do, I can assure you it will go to headquarters and be dealt with by a senior officer not of this division.
Oh, what's the use? You're just as bad as him. You're all the bloody same. I'll get better out of using my MP. Anybody.
Mr. Ramsey, you...
And that's where I'm going.
In my day, unless the law books have been changed, that little episode would have constituted violence and unruly conduct in a police station.
He was Letting off steam. Sir, I know this man's problem,
Really?
and I'll deal with it.
Inspector, has he been under observation?
With respect, Mr. Hallam, this is best discussed in my office.
The point is, Mrs. Darby, if you have authorized observations on that man and his complaint is harassment, you'll be one of the officers complained against.
As yet, there is no complaint. On the first occasion when Sergeant Parrish dealt with Mr. Ramsey at the counter, he wasn't insistent on complaining.
Are you 100% in control of what goes on in this station, Mrs. Darby?
Are you saying my judgment's at fault?
I'm asking myself whether I'm in full possession of the facts.
Exactly, sir. Mr. Ramsey is under observation because of a serious complaint against him by the mother of a young boy, though I have to admit she is unwilling to formalise her complaint.
Oh, this is CID work.
CID are up to their necks.
You run this shop, I believe. You tell them to make time. But no uniforms or half uniforms watching that man. Any further incident involving him, whether it's from a householder or the House of Commons, I want to be informed immediately. Oh, by the way, I'm running a little cocktail party on Friday for the inspectors from my stations. I'll be very pleased if you and your husband could attend. At the North Gate. 7 to 7:30.
Not too flash.
Fine.
You sure?
Well, I missed the football socks and the tin helmet.
I don't know why I bother. With him about, there's not much point in me holding my breath for Chief Inspector.
Oh, it's a terrible road. Only need one lorry to break down and you can't get through it all. And how's your way of life, Tom?
All right, Mr. Hallam, why?
Well, what I meant was your job. Promotion.
You've only just started.
Well, let me give you a parallel. Donald Duck has more chance of becoming President of the United States quicker than I have of moving desks.
Neither of you get thrown by shift work. We're not seeing much of each other.
Our relationship is under constant discussion.
In my opinion, based on long observation, Tom, it is important. Shift work and family. And apart from children, who's the breadwinner? Imbalance in salaries. It can mean flare-ups.
Hello, Mark. Your mum and dad in?
No.
Can I come in?
What for?
Just talk.
They've only gone out for a quick half.
That's all right.
All right.
Look, we're friends, right? Okay, we're not friends. But let's get the facts straight. You came to me looking for an earner. I give you a job to do a month ago, and I'm still waiting.
I did it.
You did it wrong.
You refused to pay me.
I told you, I don't hand out for rubbish.
You could have used them.
Mark, I don't half look after my animals or my tapes, so I don't expect others to half do things for me. You're never going to make a printer if those are your standards.
My mum says I'm not to go near your shop.
Why? Why?
You haven't done them, have you? They haven't been changed.
Mama!
Leave off, will you?
That's very true. What's the latest from HQ on all the sergeant and four body stations? They can't survive police expenditure cuts, surely.
Teddy, yes, there are talks. We shall have to see. The obvious logic is to centralise them at subdivisional level and send out bobbies if and when needed by car. But this is boring our social worker.
I think you've just pinpointed the problem, Mr. Howard.
Albert.
The last batch of criminal statistics proved one point. In some police areas, 70% of detected crime is committed by juveniles under the age of 14.
Your area of control, Tom.
Well, get those bobbies out of cars, get them involved with those juveniles.
I don't approve or disapprove of policemen as youth leaders, Tom. But those statistics point to other, more important areas of duty.
The other 30%?
Well, I'm not accusing you of bias, Tom. I think you're subtly trying to elicit my views on footbeat policemen.
No, not really.
Remind me one day to give you facts and opinions of the failures of the social services.
Well, I believe you've been desk-bound for 8 years, Mr. Hallam. I'm merely suggesting it might be a good thing if you went out and had a hard look at what they get up to in the evening.
It was that Ramsey. My neighbour recognised him.
Is Ramsey's van outside?
No.
All right, Mrs. Stannard, we'll get somebody down the hospital. You say his dad's with him?
Yes. And if you want me to write it down this time, I will.
Yeah, well, just leave that to us. And, Mrs. Stannard, don't touch anything in the room.
I'll get round the shop.
George, don't forget CID should be handling this.
Well, there's nobody up there at the moment. They can catch up. I'm not waiting.
I'm going to ruin your party, man.
He didn't move. And I just ran. I didn't know where to go. I don't know anybody. Round your place, they said you were here. Suddenly, you're not asking any questions.
Steve?
Are you telling the truth?
I like kids.
So tell the police the truth. You've got to be very imaginative to keep lies going.
And I'm not.
I wouldn't want to see you hurt. Do you want me to come in with you? No. You spend too much time running away from people. And this time you ran to me. I'm flattered.
Can you drive that?
And do handstands on the roof.
Drive me there. Then take the van back and keep the keys. If I get banged up, ring head office about the animals.
I'll get me things.
Well, as your lot are still hunting, I think I'll get back to my guests.
Yes. Ah. He's just walked in, sir. Bring him straight through, Sergeant. Please sit down. You are Stephen Ramsey.
Yes.
Did you go to 69 Barden Lane tonight?
Yeah.
Who was in the house?
Mark Stannard.
He's now in hospital. Can you tell me how he came to have a badly cut head?
I went round there to try and find out why some handout leaflets Mark had promised to redo for me hadn't been done. When I asked his mother, she just screamed at me, but gave no reason. When I had a look, they still hadn't been done. But he tried to grab them back. They got spilled and he fell backwards and caught his head.
Why did you leave that boy lying in the hearth, injured?
I panicked. That's why I've come in now.
Are you aware, Mr. Ramsey, there's an allegation that on a previous occasion you indecently assaulted Mark Stannard?
When? That's a bloody lie! Why didn't you tell me this before? I mean, it's my reputation. I've got a right to know. That's what all this is about, right?
Sit down, Mr. Ramsey.
Oh, you never leave kids like me alone, do you? Orphans. I thought coming up here I'd get away from all that. Do this, do that. Look, Inspector, I've been around. I've been in and out of places with kids all my life. Here and there, I've seen things happen to kids like what you're suggesting. What do you think? When I've seen it, and that it happened to me, I touched the first kid I talked to since I come here. It's you're screwed up, mate, not me.
I am not, Mr. Ramsey, at this stage satisfied with your explanation. Sit down, please. I'm arresting you on suspicion of assaulting Mark Stannard and thereby occasioning him actual bodily harm.
What about the indecency? And you better slam that in as well.
That complaint will certainly be reinvestigated, yes. You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but whatever you say will be taken down in writing and may be given in evidence. Sergeant Beck.
I want a solicitor.
Speak to the sergeant. He'll arrange it if you wish. But nobody's going to talk to you again tonight. Surely it will be better to wait and have someone fresh in the morning. Take Mr. Ramsey into the detention room. I've arrested him for suspected ABH.
What do you think you're doing? Where's the statement of complaint about the assault tonight? You should have bailed him.
Sir, if he goes out of here tonight, he could assault again, be got at for revenge by the boy's father, or just plain disappear. Plus the fact that I don't accept the fact that he ran away from the scene because he panicked.
It's morally wrong for him to run, agree, but not necessarily so in law. If he didn't commit the crime.
He stays here for his own good until I know what's happened. You've already told me this is my station. I arrested the man.
Are you prepared to take full responsibility for any complaint arising?
Will you take responsibility for lack of police action if that man hurts himself or others as a result of us releasing him? Did you say he got punched? You haven't got any bruising. You haven't been touched, have you?
I told you, I never recognised Ramsey even...
Mrs. Stannard, you weren't here. It came about these leaflets, didn't he? Did he hit you at all?
No.
How did he get in? The door's not forced. Your mother said you went to see him again, but you let him in. Because you like him?
How can he? When he goes down there, he's touched. I saw him upset. Will ya?
Were you upset Mark, because you were assaulted 3 weeks ago? Or because Mr. Ramsay wouldn't pay you? Being a mite spoiled, you hadn't altered them, had you? Out of spite? They just hung around the house.
I were always telling him to take them down. They were cluttering up place.
When was the last occasion you asked him to take these leaflets to the shop, Mrs. Stannard?
A couple of days ago.
And you couldn't, could you? Because you hadn't altered them, you were still angry at not being paid. And so you made up a lie. And your mother believed you. Mark, unless you tell me the truth, a man is going to be locked up. Your friend.
He won't pay me. One time he's all friends, another he won't pay me. We're only a tiny fault. Only a lowercase r. I only wanted me for a printer. I'll do them again if he wants.
I make no apologies for having locked you up. Any man who can run away from an accident of that nature makes me shiver, Mr. Ramsay.
Do you know what, Inspector? You lot, everybody, assuming things about me, that makes me shiver.
What happened? I've got school. Where are you going?
Out of here. Coming?
Yeah. Yes? Yes?
Jack? Recognize the voice? Don't put the phone down. I'll find you. So it's me, Eddie. I'm in the town of Ryde, Isle of Wight. Fresh out of Her Majesty's bed and breakfast, Parkhurst. Where you took me up for 4 years.
Now, look, Eddie.
Shut up! You've done all the talking you'll ever do.
Yes, but listen, Eddie.
Listen to me. I'm coming by degrees up north. And I want us to meet, Jack. And when we do, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, the reason I'm phoning is because I got religion in the nick. And I thought, well, you might like to say your last prayers before we meet. May God be with you, Jack. And may He have mercy on your rotten soul.
Oh, my God.
Hello? Inspector Darby to see you. Oh, yes, please ask her to come in. Right.
Hello, Annie.
Jean.
How's it going?
A bit knocked by all this. I must say, I never thought I'd be phoning you professionally.
Morning, James.
Morning, ma'am.
How's it look?
Not good, ma'am. Nothing decent in the way of a print. Drawer forced open with something like a chisel, a screwdriver. Drawer handles grainy wood. There's been a lot of hands on it recently.
All right, James.
I'll take myself off, ma'am.
Right. Well, tell me all.
Oh, it's awful. I came in the morning, exactly 9 o'clock. This drawer's wide open. Petty cash box with £150 in it completely disappeared.
What did the petty cash box look like?
Small grey metal box, not very substantial, with a lock to it. I wouldn't have thought it would be too difficult to break it open.
And where's the key to this drawer kept?
Top drawer of the filing cabinet over here. I mean, 7 weeks in the job. My boss is away at a sales conference, Edinburgh. When I phoned him, he asked me what 10 other people have already asked me. Was I sure I locked the drawer last night? Well, of course I locked it.
Bye, Mum.
Bye, James. Don't get upset, Annie. A burglar is always a bit of a shock.
I know what the rest of the office is thinking. The new, well-travelled, highly paid managing director's secretary walks off and leaves the petty cash box in an unlocked drawer. And maybe there are some who think I walked off with it.
Oh, come on.
Well, if I'd been here for years, it somehow would be okay, but 7 weeks in the job and cash gone missing and police and a fingerprint man in the office, and suddenly it's all down to me. And you know I want to make a good impression here, Jean. I like this job. I need this job.
Sergeant Duckworth tell you he'd found no signs of forced entry?
He said it looked like an inside job.
Well, it does. They're taking your fingerprints, love.
Yes.
You're in capable hands with Sergeant Duckworth. You know I can't take over his inquiry, but I'm certainly going to talk to you about it as a friend. I imagine he's already asked you if you've any suspicions about anyone in the building who might, just might, have done this.
Yes, and I said I didn't know.
Any of the staff been behaving suspiciously recently?
No, not really.
Have you heard of anyone with debts, anyone in financial trouble?
No.
Is there something you want to tell me that you didn't say to Sergeant Duckworth?
Oh, this is awful, but... Well, there's a really nice boy. The post clerk. He joined the company around about the same time I did. Well, he's been hanging around this office rather a lot during the past couple of weeks. I mean, I've nothing at all to be suspicious about, except for that. I kept wondering why he'd been hanging around here so much, and then this happens.
What's his name?
Trevor Knott.
And you didn't say this to Sergeant Duckworth?
No, and I don't think I should be saying it to you.
Can I have a look at him? Can you get him in here?
Yes, I've got some post for him, actually. Just a minute. Yes? Mrs. Banks, would you ask Trevor to come in for a moment, please? Right, dear. Thank you.
We'll just have him checked out. Would there be some company records with his date of birth, etc.?
Well, yes, there must be somewhere. I could find out.
Yes, Mrs. Howlett.
Oh, Trevor. Parcel for you, Red Star, as soon as possible.
Right. Have they got any clues on the theft?
Not yet. This is Inspector Darbley from the police.
Hello. Red Star to Euston?
Yes.
Right.
Yes?
It's me. Don't put the phone down. Well, this is your last day, Jack. Not bad, really, from where I'm speaking. Euston Station. A bit of sun. Pleasant, really. I'm about to board the train. Oh, by the way, how's the baby?
Listen, Eddie, I've got a little money. I'll pay you.
It's not down to money, Jack. It's down to the big meeting. First with me, then with your maker. Next up, Manchester. Nearly home. I'll have a few jars in Manchester and I'll give you a tinkle.
that tip you said you got for Thursday?
Beverley, 3 o'clock. Taylor's Revenge.
Taylor's Revenge? I've never heard of it.
Well, that gives me grounds for considerable optimism.
I need your help.
It's not a major robbery, Bernard, but I'd like us to do our best. Check this Trevor Knott character and all others with access to the office.
Yes, ma'am.
Annie Howlett's an old friend of mine. Do what you can, please. Is there much on the CID front?
No, ma'am. Oh, I've got a message from Mr. Logan. Stand by for a visit 11:30.
Right.
I'll get back to Mrs. Howlett, see if there's any other names to check out.
Thanks. Come in.
Ma'am, there's a Mr. Jack Willis I'd like to talk to you urgently.
Who is he?
I don't know, there's something vaguely familiar about the name, not the face.
What about?
He has a baby and a pram with him, ma'am. He seems very upset.
Fetch him in, Joseph.
Will you come this way, Mr. Willis?
Please take a seat. Mr. Willis, yes?
Yes.
And you wanted to see me?
I wanted to see who's in charge, the top man.
That's me, Mr. Willis. What can I do for you?
I'm Jack Willis, who turned Queen's evidence in the Miller trial 4 years ago.
I'm not familiar with the trial, Mr. Willis.
Well, you better check on it. Because I'm here because I got 2 phone calls from Eddie Miller, just out of Parkhurst. And he said he's coming now to kill me. And I know he means it.
Kill you?
Yeah,
You take the threat seriously?
too right, I take it seriously. You police have had your value out of me. He wouldn't have been in Parkhurst but for me, so you've got to protect me. I gave a favour to Justice 4 years back, and only because of that I'm in danger. So what are you going to do about it?
Just a minute, Mr. Willis. All in good time. We want to know more about that. But you've brought a baby here, yes?
A daughter. That animal might go for her if you don't get me.
Yeah, well, where's your wife, Mr. Willis?
She left me. But I want to sort out this Eddie Miller business now.
Ma'am?
Yeah? Just a minute, Mr. Willis.
Well, he can't leave off now to do something else. This is urgent.
A minute, Mr. Willis.
This Eddie Miller he's talking about, ma'am. One of a big family of right villains. Dad Miller lives in Hartley. The lads live round about local.
OK. Get the form on this one. And Eddie Miller. And the other Millers.
Right, ma'am.
Call Mr. Logan, you better hear this, and call Parkhurst, check the time of release.
What about the baby, ma'am?
We'll see to it, Joseph.
Now, look, am I getting through? I want you to put me in a cell now and lock door, so I know I've got some protection from this animal.
A minute,
And then I
Mr.
want you to
Willis.
place men in my house, so when he turns up there, you can arrest him quickly.
Now, look, Mr. Willis, there is some checking to be done here, but assuming you were telling the truth...
Assuming? You might have something. Do you think I'd come in here unless it were true?
I'm saying we have to do some checking.
Are you going to put men in my house, or aren't you?
Mr. Willis, we cannot arrest a man straight out of prison unless we can prove he's committed a crime.
What? I've got to be killed first?
Look, your baby's crying and I want to have a look at your baby.
Oh, for God's sake. What's going on here? You're not going to help me, are you? You're not going to lock me up, are you? You're not going to arrest him?
All in good time, Mr.
There
Willis.
isn't time, there isn't time. He's coming now. He's going to kill me.
Catch him! Go on after him! Come on, sweetheart.
I wasn't involved, but I remember the trial well. And it was Willis's evidence, and only his evidence, that sent Miller away. It's a pity that such a weasel of a man had to show Beckham Parish a clean pair of heels.
And left us holding the baby.
What about the baby?
Well, it's well cared for. Clean, well fed. Very relaxed little thing now we've stopped Sergeant Beck singing lullabies to it.
Can't imagine Joe Beck singing lullabies.
Nor could the babe.
I understand that Bernard Duckworth is looking into a £150 cash box robbery involving a friend of yours.
Crowfield Electric, that's right, sir.
Well, I'll have to take him off that to help on this.
Yeah, okay.
It's complicated. We won't be getting the proper files on all the Millers until later. 4 sons, 1 daughter. The Miller family. All of them villains, and all of them capable of doing for Willis. Those 3 cars, the Granada, Cortina, and Maxi, registered to 3 of the brothers, so they're probably inside there now.
Family meeting behind closed curtains.
Well, isn't it the tradition that the coming-out party for the prodigal's return from jail always starts up well before his release?
So if they're all in there from last night, with hangovers, might be a good time to visit.
Can I ask you a rude question, Jim?
Yeah?
This is very obviously CID. Do you think that you have an interest in it?
Yes, I do. I'm involved now in the interests of baby Willis. I'm looking for a father and a mother, and that's highly relevant to this lot.
Okay. But don't go jumping the gun, and no initiatives on your part without consulting me first, please.
Yes, sir.
I think we will visit.
Logan, CID, Hartley.
They're here. It's his and hers, police.
What the hell do you want?
I want to speak to Eddie Miller.
Do you? Who's your girlfriend?
Is Eddie Miller here?
You know damn well he isn't.
What's all this, George?
Local wooden tops.
Aye. What do you want?
They want Eddie.
Well, he's not here, is he? Go on, you can search the house.
I'll talk to his father then.
Talk to his father, do you? Look, his father's our dad.
Just a few words.
Let's give him Dad.
Aye, might get a laugh out of the clowns.
In kitchen. Talk to him, but be quick, 'cause you're not staying, and keep your hands out the silver, hey?
I'll be back to talk to you.
Aye, you try it.
For God's sake, what are you doing? If you don't get out, there'll be a fight.
Who are you?
What is it? One's just got out and you want another
Who
back
are
inside.
you?
I'm Eddie's sister, Maureen. And who the hell do you think you are?
We just want to talk to your father.
Talk. And fast. And as soon as you're finished, leave by the back door.
Who's that?
Hello, Mr. Miller.
Is my lad back yet? Is my Eddie back?
Not yet. Do you know me?
No.
We have met.
Huh?
Chief Inspector Logan, and this is Inspector Darby.
God in heaven, what's all this about then? What are you here on? Business or social?
Just want to chat about your son, Eddie.
Nay, I'm none out. I'm half dead, me. I can't hardly move. Arthritis, it's terrible. Pain gets worse every day. National health does bloody nothing. This country's going down the spout, isn't it, eh?
You could be right.
Look, my lads are good lads. They've always looked after me, but you know how it is. Income tax and that, it's not easy to make honest money these days. Look, I'm just old. I'm tired. I just want to die.
Your family were like that, Mr. Miller.
It's always been a struggle for me. Now I just want to go. I can't even do that.
Mr. Miller. Does your son Eddie still listen to you?
Listen to me?
Take your advice.
I don't know.
I want to give him some advice. Will you pass it on?
Depends on what.
It's important. 4 years ago, your son Eddie was sent to jail on the evidence of a man, Jack Willis.
Don't I know it? Do you think I don't know that?
Now, Willis is complaining that since your son got out yesterday, he's been making threatening phone calls.
Is that right?
Yes, it's right. So we are forewarned, and we want you to warn Eddie that if anything happens to Willis, we'll know who to come for.
Jack Willis is not but an animal. He always was.
Do you know who Willis's wife is? Or the mother of his child?
How would I know?
Can you tell us what time you expect Eddie back here?
None of your business, but... Yes. When he's finished at his tailor's.
Tailor's?
He always goes to tailor's first thing after coming out of the nick. He's very fussy about his clothes, is Eddie. He'll order himself 3 new suits. I've said enough, that's it.
Thanks.
Will you please leave now?
Now, what do you want?
Nothing.
Well, get them out of here and check yourself out now.
John Connors, the chief instructor, welcomes them to the centre.
This is a trainee's handbook. Now this handbook.
What's the name of Eddie's tailor?
Taylor?
Yes.
It's his cousin, Lenny Goodall. Queen's Parade, Manchester.
Ta.
Now go.
Yes, this is Detective Chief Inspector Logan. I'm at Hartley's section. I wonder if you can spare a man to watch a tailor's shop.
Which address, sir?
Lenny Goodall, Queen's Parade, Manchester.
Now, sir?
Yes, now. And follow and clock a visitor he might have. An Eddie Miller, late of 112 Arlen Parade, Hartley. Date of birth, 4/4/35. Who will visit shop at some point during day.
Can you give me a description, sir?
I can give you a photographic reference. Do you have the Police Gazette for last October 17th? It's item 185.
5.
Right. I may come over.
All right, sir.
Well, much appreciated. Thanks a lot. I think I will go to Manchester.
Right.
Can you handle this end?
Oh, yes, I should think so.
Oh, well, I'll take Paul Davis with me and we'll leave Bernard Duckworth on watch outside the Miller household. And no initiatives, please, Jean. Consult me first unless it's an emergency.
Of course. Would I do anything else?
I'll talk to you later. See you later, Joe.
Ma'am, your husband's here to collect the baby.
Where's the baby?
With your husband in the locker room, ma'am.
Joseph, you know about this petty cash theft?
Yes, ma'am. Bernie Duckworth told me.
Well, Bernie's now watching the Miller house. Mr. Logan's taking Davis off to Manchester. I'd like to press on with this Crowfield electric business. Annie Howlett has a suspicion about a man, Trevor Knott.
And Bernard's checked records, ma'am. He's clean.
Yes, I know. I just wondered if there was some chance that you might spend a little time doing some checking.
A privilege, ma'am.
Do you mean that, Joseph? A privilege?
I'm always pleased to help you out, ma'am.
Thank you. Here we are. I've signed the form.
Oh, good. So now she's the responsibility of the social services, eh?
I got her down as Baby Willis. Maybe that's an assumption.
Well, I had thought of calling her Baby Helen, after somebody else who's always dropping in unexpected.
Bye-bye, little one. Bye-bye.
Come on, let's give you some dinner, eh?
Careful.
Right. Look, how about having some lunch after I part the baby?
I'd like some. I'm too busy.
Fair enough. Anyway, I'm cutting down on my lunches. Unlike some, I've got to watch my waistline.
Well, bear you drinking have to.
Thank you.
See you later.
All right, bye.
Well, now what's happened?
I lost him.
You what?
Aye, but I found him again.
Thank God for that.
I was hiding in a barn at Walshut Lane. Fitter's farm where his dad used to work.
You better not lose him again or you'll have Eddie on you.
What the hell are you madmen doing? Eddie, you killed Jack. Then he'll be back inside for the rest of his life.
Now listen to me, the 3 of you. Let's get it straight what's going on here in case anyone thinks it's some kind of joke. Jack Willis has got to be done.
Because of you. That's it. You're the one that wants revenge. Do we want it?
Look, you just shut your mouth, girl, before I take my hand to you. And now you two listen to me. We're a family, eh? We always have been. Even more so since your mother died. Well, you just think of that. We stick together. We got rules. Not the same rules as other people, perhaps. Our rules. And they're simple. It's always been our lot against all the rest. We didn't make it that way. That's just the way it worked out. So we don't fit into this or any other rotten town. But we've survived because we got rules. The family, first and every time, right?
Right.
Yep. Stick together. We're a match for anyone. It were always like that till an animal called Jack Willis come into the family because of you.
You wanted him on the job.
When that animal come into the family, don't you kid yourself. He knew the rules. He worked them out and he decided to break them, to fly in the face of everything this family is.
So Eddie kills him and goes back for life?
Now, will you tell your sister to shut her mouth?
Shut it, or I will.
Now, look, I don't know if Eddie will kill him. Well, maybe he'll leave something of him with breath in it. All I know is we can't bend the rules or we're finished. Jack Willis tried to finish us, didn't he? From the inside. He destroyed your loyalty, didn't he, eh? Shocked out Eddie, he tried to finish the lot of us. I don't know what the final price for that lot is. For the minute, we'll leave it to Eddie. But Jack Willis is going to pay. And if no one else collects the payment, then it's down to me, eh? And I'll do it.
You live with your father, yes?
Yes, what's it to you?
And your brothers are around the house just for the party?
Yes. And don't you dare come back.
I take it your father doesn't like you.
Look, what do you want? I've work to do. I want nothing with you.
Your brother has been making threatening phone calls. Jack Willis has taken that seriously enough to come to us with a baby in a pram, dump the baby on us and take to his heels. I want to talk to you about Willis.
Most millers don't talk about Jack Willis.
You'll talk about him here or at the police station. Which is it?
All right, ask your questions. Then go away, you'll get me the sack.
According to our records, Willis has been done twice with Millers, once 5 years ago and also 7 years ago. There must have been a time when your family was close to Jack Willis.
Aye.
How close?
I'd liked him. He was useful.
He was a peterman, safe breaker. Useful in the family business?
Say what you want.
I want the name of the mother of Jack Willis's baby girl.
I don't know.
That's my interest in Willis. If you want to get rid of me, get me the name of the baby's mother, where she is.
Well, I'll see. See if I can find out.
Okay. I'll be back, Miss Miller.
Where is baby? Is it still at police station?
Why do you want to know?
Well, if I find name and mother, I can tell her where to go.
It's at St Kilda's, the children in care home. Can you help me on one more point?
What?
Why did Willis, a seasoned villain, turn Queen's evidence when he'd known your family so well and for a long time?
I don't know. I don't know!
Willis? Jack Willis.
Yes?
Phone.
What is it?
I don't know.
Yes?
Just to Piccadilly Station. 1350 from Stafford.
Who is it?
Is now approaching platform.
Ale still lousy at the King and Scepter, Jack.
1350.
We should get into this real ale thing I read about. Well, your last drink.
Eddie, listen.
No. No. There's nothing to listen to.
Nearly home, Jack. Have you done what I told you?
Have you said your prayers? God forgives all, Jack. But not me.
Come in. Bernard back from the miller's house?
It's on his way, Mum.
Right. Mr. Logan's just phoned from Manchester. Before he could get to the tailor's shop, Miller had paid it a visit. CID then followed Miller to the station. His train will be in Hartley in 25 minutes. Bernard and I will meet it, and hopefully it'll lead us to Willis.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, how did you make out, Joseph?
I turned up something that might be useful, ma'am. I went to Crowfield Electric. Your friend Annie Howlett pointed out Trevor Knott to me. I talked to the personnel department and they gave me the name of his last employer. I phoned them and got the name of his 2 previous employers. They had nothing to report, except it seems that Trevor Knott never holds down a job for more than 6 months.
Yeah?
Well, it's a bit odd, ma'am. Young fella trying to get on in life, not holding down a job for more than 6 months.
True.
I'll keep an eye on him when he leaves work at 5. Nose around a bit where he lives, talk to his neighbours.
Be discreet.
Discretion's the word, ma'am.
Right. I'm off to the station. We've really nothing on him, and he knows that. We'll follow him, and if he sees us, we'll warn him off.
Yes, ma'am.
Train's back due.
Yeah, see you now.
I'll get a par Miller's, but don't expect they're going there, though.
I'll go back to the office. I have to break the news to Mr. Logan.
Yes, ma'am.
George, have you seen my bicycle clips?
Ah. Happens so.
Well, where are they then?
Fat lot of good you going off to do some detecting when you can't even find your own bicycle clips. What are these?
Tap.
Sherlock Holmes never wore bicycle clips.
Nothing from Bernard.
Oh, yeah, Mum. Hartley, please.
George, Tom, darling, can I speak?
Oh, yes, she's here, Tom. It's your husband, Mum.
Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Jean. Look, I'm still at St Kilda's. I thought you ought to know. I've just had a call from a woman. Wouldn't give a name. She wanted to know if the Willis baby was okay.
Local accent? Yeah. Oh, thanks, Tom. I only told one person the baby was at St Kilda's. Who's been knocking you about, love?
I'm saying no.
All right, Maureen. Why did you phone St Kilda's? What's your interest in this baby?
What baby?
I noticed that you weren't really part of the coming out party. Even your dad shouted at you to get out of the kitchen. Shall I tell you what's clear to me? That your family like you as much as they like Jack Willis. Now, why should that be? I'll tell you a possibility I worked out. That the baby that Jack Willis dumped on us is your baby.
No.
Both of us want the same thing, to stop something violent happening. You must realise that Jack has been followed by your brothers from the moment Eddie was released from Parkhurst yesterday, and with one end in view, to get them together. Now, we can help him. We can protect him. You can't. Only we can do it. So come on. It is your baby, isn't it?
Yes.
You married to Jack Willis?
No, but it's our baby.
How could you and Jack have been so close when he betrayed your brother and your family hate him? Was it you who introduced him to the family?
Yes.
As your boyfriend?
Yes.
But he became useful to them for a while, helping them on jobs. Then what happened?
My brother Eddie turned against him. Told me to get rid of him.
But you didn't.
No, I pretended we weren't together. And then when Eddie and Jack got caught on a job, well, it seemed the answer to Jack. He turned Queen's evidence and got off so we could be together while Eddie was in jail. And then we had the baby. And my brothers found out and told Eddie.
Where is Eddie?
I don't know, out looking for Jack.
Where's Jack? Look, we're his only chance. Think of the future. Think of your baby's future if Eddie gets to Jack. Come on, where is he?
He phoned me. He told me he'd run out of places to hide. I suggested our old laundry building. Hermes Laundry, Mill Lane. I don't know, he may have gone there.
And who knocked you about?
Eddie.
Did you tell him, the old Hermes Laundry?
I did. I had to.
Inspector Darby to Hartley.
Yes, Ma'am.
Sergeant Parrish, get yourself and anyone else available to meet me at the old Hermes Laundry, Mill Lane. As quickly as possible, please. It's about Willis and the Millers.
I'm a police officer.
Oh? What can I do for you?
A man came in just now and made a purchase.
Yes, Mr. Knott. Bought a portable television. Black and white. Looked at it yesterday and said he'd pick it up today.
Do you know Mr. Knott well, sir?
No, never saw him before yesterday.
Can you tell me how he paid for the television, sir?
Aye, in a bundle. Cash.
Cash?
Aye, £150, all cash.
Can you do something for me, sir? Can you put the notes that he paid you carefully on one side, just for an hour? I'd like to send a police fingerprint expert round to check something.
Why? What's the matter, then?
Just checking the notes to see if they have the prints of a certain lady who may have handled the cash before Mr. Knott.
Hartley, Inspector Darby on watch at the old Hermes Laundry, Mill Lane.
Hartley to Inspector Darby. Sergeants Parrish and Douglas should be with you shortly, ma'am.
All right. I hope that means shortly.
Jack Willis? Jack Willis? This is the police. I know you're here. Jack? Come on, Jack. Come out here.
What message, love? A friend of Maureen's. Tell me where Jack is, love. He's here, is he?
I'm a police officer.
A police officer. Pull the other one. Pull it right off.
I'm a police officer.
You stay quiet while I look for Jack.
Miller! Miller! Open this door immediately! You're under arrest!
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? You're earning yourself one, darling. You're earning a knock on the head.
Well, you're going to be sensible. Or are you looking for the fastest train back to Parkhurst?
Oh, come on, Eddie. Drop the hammer.
You haven't got a hell of a lot on me. I'll take my chance in court.
You're under arrest for involvement in an assault against your sister and threatening me with a hammer. I warn you, you're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but anything you do say may be put in writing and given in evidence.
Willis! I'm warning you. You'll be wanted to give evidence against Miller again. So don't go anywhere we can't get hold of you. Understood?
Yes, yes.
I'll have you, Jack. Next time, man. You for the hammer. Next time.
You lot! Clear out of here right now and fast, or I'll be thinking about conspiracy charges.
Trevor Knott will be charged. You'll have to make a court appearance. Should be brief. It's an open and shut case. Your fingerprints were all over the cash he said he'd been saving for years.
I can't tell you how grateful I am. Oh, and please say thank you to Sergeant Beck.
Yes, of course.
Well, I must get back to the works. Set in motion the sacking of one Trevor Knott. We're going to meet up later for a celebration drink.
Oh, heck, it's not going to be another of those nights, is it? Hey, me trying to watch Panorama, you two blind drunk on scotch, singing rugby songs.
You be quiet. You've contributed very little, Tom Darbley. You get off and get that baby back to Maureen Miller.
Come on, let's go before she collapses in irons.
George, can you come in here, please? See you later.
All right. Bye, love.
Bye.
Hey, Arthur.
Hi, it's all right.
Yes, Mum.
Mr. Logan's been diverted to headquarters. He'll be here about 8:30. I'd like your report and Berners before he arrives,
Yes,
please.
Mum. I've got them ready.
Any news of the party at the Miller house?
No, I think they put the booze back in the cupboard till the next time he comes out. And this all starts over again. And it will all happen again.
Yes, but meanwhile, rather a successful day, wouldn't you say?
If you say so, Mum.
I do say so, George.
Yes, Mum.
happened?
It's not your fault. You didn't know the man. You didn't approach him. Look, it's just something that happened to you. It could happen to anyone. Do you think you'd recognize him again if you saw him?
I would, yes. Always.
Okay. Now look, Susan, there's no alternative to this. We're going to have the police. Well, they have to know. It has to be reported, this, for the sake of others and also for the sake of the man who did this to you.
I can't go to the police station.
Oh, that's all right. I know someone, a policewoman. I'll give her a ring.
What for?
Well, maybe she can come round here. You can tell her about it in your own way and she'll understand you. Okay? Go on. You drink your tea. Won't take long.
What'd you start clapping for?
Because it was good.
I'm not finished yet, you know.
Oh, I thought you had.
Only halfway through
I'm
it.
sorry, Jones. Forget my couch. Pretend it didn't happen. Great lump. What is this?
What's all that?
Hello, love.
Dad, come and hear me play. Mum's been, you know.
Oh, let's have a brief interlude, Joe. Give your dad a chance to have his supper.
I can't play toward that. You'll just have to wait for the news.
You've been making trouble again, Miss Bossy Boots. Come here.
Get up, Dad. You're hurting. Breaking me ribs.
Jelly bones?
You scratched your face.
Yes, I caught it on some brambles. Mrs. Hebditch's ill-kept garden.
How was Mrs. Hebditch?
Susan West. Would I know her from the youth club?
Likely you met her. But I haven't told her it was you I contacted. The idea of an inspector might have frightened her off.
I want to talk to her alone. Susan? Hello. Do you remember me? Sit down, love.
You're the inspector.
Inspector Longton. Kate.
Where's John, Mr. Alden?
It's all right, he's just upstairs. Left us so we can have a chat in our own. Who did this to you, Susan?
A man. A man.
All right. Now, I'd like you to tell me all about it, okay? Everything that happened. Will you do that? Where did it happen?
Canal Bank.
What time was this?
About 6. We're coming home from school. Stayed behind with us in school play.
Was anyone with you?
Not by the time he appeared.
Do you know him? Would you recognize him?
I'd know him again.
Did he touch you anywhere else? So, this is all that happened. Nothing else?
He didn't get what he wanted. I kicked out at him, made for his face with my nails, scratched his face. It hurt him.
How'd the girl's parents take it, man?
Pretty shaken up.
At least this lad's got a good look at him. It's a fuller description. It fits with the other two.
Her mother's bringing Susan round tomorrow morning for the artist. I'd like you to supervise Bernie. Chat to the girl, see if she can remember anything else.
Right.
Same pattern. Isolated locale, attack on a teenage girl. Intended sexual assault which comes to nothing. Man runs scared.
Can't get through with it. Loses his nerve.
Might start getting braver. 3 incidents in as many weeks. That's just a pretty disturbed individual. Next time could get a lot nastier.
Colin? Where are you? Joe! Come on, Joe, it's time you were moving.
Where's Dad?
Come on, young lady, stop messing about. You're late enough as it is.
What's wrong, Mum?
Oh, go on, chop chop. Get your breakfast.
You cannot go to work on an empty stomach. Breakfast is the most important part of the day. It sets you up.
Your grandmother teach you that? Okay. Mind if I stick to black tea?
Hey, I thought I might go around to see Susan today. You know, see how she's coping with her parents.
She'll be with us this morning at the station, helping our artists.
Well, I'll pop round this evening then happen she'll want a hand.
I'd like to come too. That'd be all right.
Yeah, that'd be fine if you got the time.
Yes, definitely. It's all too easy to forget the victim.
They were at it again this morning.
Are they?
Her and that chap.
What exactly?
Jogging around the park like there was no tomorrow.
Sounds harmless enough.
Hartley Park wasn't built for jogging in. We were made for listening to the band on Sunday afternoon.
Morning, George.
Morning, Mum.
Joe.
Morning, Mum.
Susan West and her mother here,
Not
yeah?
arrived as yet, Mum.
Let me know when they come, will you? Also, Bernie Duckworth will need to be told.
Yes, Mum.
Oh, and George, make a bit of a fuss over them, will you? Not easy for them having to come here over this.
Certainly. Nice to see you two out and about again this morning. Getting to be quite regular.
Yes, we even had breakfast together.
What's going on? Having breakfast with a youth leader.
Her life.
Oh, no, it's not, you know.
Is it a fair like this, love?
are you? What are you doing?
I think you may want to talk to me.
Come on, get in the car.
I phoned the hospitals in case there'd been an accident. I phoned his sister, but she's not seen or heard of him. What's happened?
Now, don't fret too much, Mrs. Butler. There's likely a simple explanation.
Well, that's what everyone keeps saying. But what is it, this explanation? I've brought a photograph. It's quite recent.
Can we hold on to this?
What's the matter?
Yes, Mrs. Butler, that's fine. Would you mind taking a seat? It won't be a second.
George?
It's a woman, Mama, Mrs. Butler. Lives over on Glendale. Wife of a Dr. Butler. She's come in to report him missing. Brought his photograph.
When did he go missing?
Only there's one thing I didn't tell the sergeant. My husband took some pills with him.
What kind of pills with it?
Well, I don't know. He keeps a variety for emergencies in the cabinet in his study.
You mean for patients?
Yes. I found the cabinet open this morning and some of the bottles missing.
Has he been depressed lately?
Well, he can get down sometimes over a patient if someone's terminally ill. It's not easy for him. But we're a happy family, very happy.
What sort of person is he?
No one could want for a better husband.
You haven't noticed anything odd about his behaviour recently? You know, anything untypical? Has he seemed restless?
Not at all.
What time did he get in last night?
7, 8.
Know where he'd been?
Well, visiting a patient, a Mrs. Hebditch.
Happen to know where Mrs. Hebditch lives?
It's Glen Eagles Avenue, I think. I mean, why do you ask that?
Just filling in the background. Small details like that might help us in tracing your husband.
You seem to be taking this very seriously all of a sudden. I mean, your sergeant didn't seem to think...
How long have you been in Hartley, Mrs. Butler?
A year now. We were in Manchester. We lived there for 11 years. My husband was born in Hartley, wanted to settle back here, so he joined a local practice.
Has he got relatives here?
Well, just a sister. His parents are dead.
Well,
excuse me a moment.
Don't worry. I won't peep.
It's the rule, madam. You understand?
Yes.
Just gave himself up. Mammy's in there now, writing out his statement.
Sergeant Beck found any tablets on him?
Butler dumped him, apparently. Wanted to end it all, but he couldn't get through with it. That's his version.
Any reason to question it?
Saved us a sight bother if he'd swallowed the lot.
Don't be daft. There's little a dead man would have been able to admit to. Made our job a lot more complicated.
Yes, ma'am.
What's his attitude now?
Contrite and miserable load of rubbish.
Let's leave our private opinions at home, all right?
The man's committed a serious offence. Is that to be forgotten now?
You planned to commit suicide. What changed your mind?
It was too easy. It was just an easy way out. I don't think I was really serious about it deep down. It was just a way of conditioning myself so that I could admit that I...
Have you any understanding as to why you did this? I mean, has it anything to do with your marriage, for instance? Have you been unhappy at home?
I love my family, my wife and my daughter. Such violence is totally alien to me. I'm gentle with my child.
You've made a very full statement, Dr. Butler, but Detective Sergeant Duckworth will have further questions to ask. You have the right to be represented by a solicitor.
I'll be pleading guilty. It doesn't seem much point, does it?
That's a matter for you. You'll be bailed later.
I couldn't go back home. I couldn't possibly go back home.
Then you'll be detained for the night and appear before the magistrates tomorrow. We will not oppose bail should you wish to make application then.
Well,
Dr. Butler, your wife is here at the station.
Helen,
She came in to report you missing.
does she know?
Not as yet. When she's told, she may wish to see you. If that's the case, you may have a few moments together in the presence of an officer. Would you like to see your wife? Thank you, Brian. Mrs. Butler, I'm afraid you must prepare yourself for something of a shock.
You found Colin?
Dr. Butler has admitted to several attacks on teenage girls over the past few weeks. He'll be charged with 3 offences of assault, occasioning actual bodily harm.
It's not possible.
Your husband has made a statement, voluntarily, a full admission.
No, there's a mistake.
The courts will have to judge, but he's now in custody. There's no way I can make this less distressing for you.
But I mean, he would never. I mean, assault, violence. Oh, what are you saying?
The situation is as I've described it, I'm afraid, Mrs. Butler.
But he's incapable of it. Incapable. I mean, Colin, I read about it in the newspapers. Attacks on young girls.
They were teenage girls of 16 or over. There was another incident yesterday evening.
Seems like you're talking about someone different. Not Colin. Stranger.
You didn't suspect anything. I mean, you know your husband, how his mind works. Didn't you sense something was wrong?
I've been married to Colin for 15 years. Today, I don't feel I've ever known him. Not one bit.
Over the past few weeks, you've remained in complete ignorance.
You think I'd sleep at night beside a man who went after young girls, thinking, remotely suspecting that he had? Do you think that's possible?
Has there been any unhappiness between you?
Seems so, doesn't it? From his point of view, something wrong, that's evident. Yes. I wasn't aware. What do I tell Josephine?
Your daughter.
Well, what do I say? What words explain it to a 12-year-old?
This is going to be a very difficult time for you, Mrs. Butler. Obviously, if I can help in any way...
Oh, I doubt it. Where's Colin now?
In the station here with CID.
What happens to him? Where does he go?
He's refusing bail at the moment, so he'll stop the night here and appear in court tomorrow. If you could pack a small suitcase for him, you know, change of clothes and so forth. I'll have a constable collect it this afternoon, if that's convenient.
I want to see my husband.
That's not possible right now.
Not possible?
Not at the moment, no.
Very well, then, I'll wait. I'll wait.
He won't see you, Mrs. Butler.
Won't see me?
I'm sorry. That's his position.
Well, I want to see him.
It's his right to refuse you.
Right. Well, why won't he face me?
I think his shame's too great, frankly, Mrs. Butler.
His shame? What about my shame? And who can I look in the eye now? You take me to him.
I'm afraid not, Mrs. Butler.
Very well, then. I'll take myself.
Mrs. Butler!
Colin! Colin! Let me pass.
Can't do that.
Come this way, please, Mrs. Butler.
Colin!
Back to my office. Come along.
Colin, please!
Hello, Ellen.
Thanks for coming, Maury. Such short notice.
What on earth is it, love? You sounded so desperate on the phone. Ellen?
You might not have known anything about it.
Married to a character like that? Give it here. Now, you're not telling me she didn't have some idea. After years married to him.
I felt a bit sorry for the woman, Sarge. Not her fault what a fella gets up to.
You've too best to save some sympathy for those he's set on, lad. And they're folk. Could have been your daughter sat out there with the artist this morning.
It's quite clear. There's no doubt he did it.
How can you just say that? Your husband.
You think I want to admit it to anyone, let alone myself? I'm coated with dirt. If I scrubbed myself for 100 years, I'd never be clean.
Look, whatever you feel, Ellen, you will stick by him.
For what good reason?
He needs you, obviously.
Needs me? He wouldn't even see me in the police station. Like I'd done it, like it was me with guilt. People who see me in the street. There's that woman whose husband assaulted those girls. Must be something mighty amiss with her. I'm tainted with what he's done, and so is my daughter.
Obviously, he's a sick man, Ellen, unbalanced. He'll be struck off, needs your help now, whatever your feelings. You're duty-bound, love.
Not anymore. Not after what he's done. That cuts the knot. The very thought of him makes my skin creep. I hope never to set eyes on him again.
Then what will you do?
Likely set off to Manchester with Joe. Stop over at my mother's for a bit while I can work out some kind of a life without Colin. Maureen, I was wondering if Joe and I might stay with you for a day or two meanwhile. Just while I clear things out and make arrangements.
Well,
I couldn't stand living here, all these things around me.
Wouldn't really be fair on Reg, you see, and the boys. There's bound to be a lot of gossip and unpleasantness. Bad enough without...
You don't want our troubles on your doorstep.
More than there will be anyway. I'm his sister. People know that.
So I'm the only one expected to stand by him. Only the wife has a duty.
I'm just his sister through accident of birth, love. I didn't choose him.
I want to talk to them. I won't be a moment. Who did this? Which of you did this to my daughter? I just hope you're proud of your children. You'd best stay home from school for a while, Joe, till things settle.
What's happened to Dad?
He's got into trouble, Joe. A lot of trouble. The police have arrested him for a crime he's admitted to. And that's the straight truth.
now,
I said.
Joe, not out here.
They said something about him attacking some girls, Mum. What?
It's true, love. He's done something very wrong and stupid, and now he's got to pay for it. I'll not soften it for you, Joe. That's no good. There's going to be a lot of ugliness.
Why'd he do it?
I don't really know the answer to that.
Doesn't he care for you anymore?
Maybe not. I'll not turn you against your father, Joe. He still loves you, I'm certain.
Will he go to prison?
Others will decide.
What happened to us?
Seems dead set on it, Mum.
You have repeated our intention not to oppose bail.
Spelt it out. Told him if he refuses bail, he'll likely find himself in detention till his trial comes up. But he just doesn't want to know.
If he's held over by the magistrates tomorrow, he'll be stuck in a remand centre 25 miles from here. I don't want that to happen.
Dr. Butler said he'd rather be locked up.
His wife will have to travel all that way to see him. And with a 12-year-old to look after, she'll find visiting pretty prohibitive.
Well, he wanted to visit him. Will she want to? Seemed fairly antagonistic towards him.
At the moment, yes. But she's a rough time ahead. She may want to talk to him when she's got over the shock, even if she won't have him living at home. Simply to break the isolation she'll be feeling. Try to find some explanation as to why it happened. It won't do her husband any good either, cut off from his family, brooding, shut inside himself.
You're thinking he might try suicide again?
Well, we can't ignore the possibility, even though he didn't go through with it before.
We can't keep him here beyond the morning, Mum.
We can house him a couple of days longer, give him a chance to change his mind.
Meantime, what do we tell the magistrates?
Request a 3-day remand to cells, pending further inquiries. 3 days of station muck might help persuade him.
Cowards! Please.
And you saw no one?
Quick on their feet, whoever. Would you like a drink?
If you've some tomato juice or grapefruit.
There's grapefruit.
Thanks. Contact us as soon as you see or hear anyone hanging about outside. I'll increase our patrols in the area so we can respond quickly if there's any trouble. Sight of a police uniform's usually a strong dissuader.
I'm not so bothered about myself. It's my daughter, Josephine. She's already had a rough time of it at school this afternoon, set on by some other kids.
We could have a quiet word with those concerned, if you like. Possibly talk to the headmaster about the problem.
And land Joe in bad odour with her schoolmates, assuming that is she has any left by now. This came by hand this afternoon. No doubt there'll be others coming in the post.
Can I keep it?
Welcome to it.
Let me have any others you receive. I'll pass them on to CID. It's possible any such correspondence can be identified, known to us for similar activities in the past.
Also, there've been some phone calls. You know, I'm amazed by people. I mean, who is it who does this sort of thing? What do they look like? And don't tell me it takes all sorts.
Has anyone actually threatened you?
No, just abuse. That's only the start. We've not had the press knocking on the door yet.
Oh, they won't come near you. Wouldn't even risk it. Your husband's been charged, so the case is now sub judice. All they can do is publish the basic facts. If the press even so much as phone you, let me know. I'll soon put a stop to it.
Until such time as my husband's convicted. Then it'll be an open house.
They certainly have the right to approach you after the trial. You're not obliged to talk to them, however. Have you seen a doctor, Mrs. Butler?
My husband's my doctor.
Perhaps he should see someone else?
I don't think so. I don't really believe in doctors, you see, not for a troubled mind. I appreciate your coming here, Inspector. Just to talk to someone helps a bit.
Your husband's broken the law, so he'll have to answer for it. But we also have a duty towards you and your daughter. See you're allowed to go about your lives without undue harassment, just like anyone else.
Seems a bit strange, that. You protecting us after locking up my husband.
It's his choice, Mrs. Butler. He could get bail.
Up to him, that. I really couldn't care less.
You realise he'll be remanded and held at a centre some distance from here, unless he exercises his right to bail. He could be away weeks.
What you trying to say?
Just explaining the position.
I won't have him back. That's certain. I'll be gone with Joe anyway from this place just as soon as I can sort things out.
I see.
All I want is to wipe Colin from our lives like he never existed.
Will it be all that simple, Mrs. Butler? After all, Josephine's his daughter as well.
She's better off without his name. Hello? Mrs. Butler speaking. Will you keep that filth to yourself?
Who is this, please?
Maybe you'd better move in here.
You can always arrange with the GPO to have your calls intercepted, you know. The operator will then inquire of each caller which number they're ringing. It won't necessarily prevent the unwanted calls coming through, but it might discourage them.
You know, I'd never have believed it. In one day, 24 hours, things should come to this. What are you doing dressed like that, love?
I'm off to school, Mum.
No, Joe, you can't. You know that. I'll phone your teacher and explain.
I'm going.
But, love, it'll be in the local papers today what's happened, and your dad and all...
You don't have to take me. I can get the bus, but I'm going just as normal, like any day. Come on, Mum. We'll be late. Will you see Dad today?
I'm not sure, Joe.
You'll go to court this morning. You'll see him there, won't you?
Yes, I don't doubt.
Give him all my love.
Yes.
Will he come home afterwards?
That's not very likely, Joe.
Well, I can go see him sometime. They'll let me, won't they?
We'll work something out. Why are you putting them in there?
To preserve any fingerprints. May not get anywhere, but I'll see these letters are investigated.
I didn't come about them in particular. What I came to find out was this. Should my husband accept bail, can we expect police protection?
So you're now saying you're prepared to have your husband live with you until his case comes to court?
Unless he puts up in a hotel. Hartley's not too well blessed with them, though.
I've increased patrols in your area this morning. We haven't the manpower to station an officer at your house, but we can certainly review the situation should it become necessary.
Then that'll have to do, I suppose.
You're certain you want this, Mrs. Butler? Your husband home? You thought it out?
There's not a lot to think about. Not really. He's my husband. And who have I married? I chose him, and he's my rotten lot. But you don't choose. You just love, and I love him. I can't just stop. Oh, I'd like to run. Take Joe and run from Hartley away from all this mess. But he's really dear to me, and that's the way I feel. It's not the way I want to feel after what he's done, but I can't help that. You can't help who you love. It's not choice. It just happens like red hair. Some of this has got to be my fault. He wouldn't have done that if he'd been happy with me. So I've got to find out why. Put it right, maybe. Best get on with it.
Will you stay in Hartley?
I intend to. I want to take on this town. Well, not that I'd feel different if I were just another housewife. I mean, what kind of a woman would marry such a man? I'd want to know that. But I wouldn't throw bricks, and I wouldn't make phone calls. But I'd want to pass by on the far side of the street.
Mrs. Butler, you must understand what you're taking on. There's a rough time ahead, and the aggro will continue, only worse. More letters, more phone calls, more abuse. We'll do our best to contain it, but we can't be everywhere. The parents of those your husband attacked are likely to be especially vociferous. So, you must understand what you're taking on.
I've lain awake all night thinking about it. I'm not, well, a brave person. I don't exactly relish the prospect. But it's what I want.
Also, remember your husband is in a deeply disturbed state. A lot will be demanded of you in terms of emotional support.
We'll survive. At least do our best to, as long as we hold together. What will he get?
He's committed serious offences. I wouldn't like to anticipate the court's decision.
But meanwhile, he can be bailed.
My sergeant spoke to him again this morning. Your husband still refuses to apply.
Maybe I can persuade him.
Were that to happen, we would ask the court this morning for a 3-week adjournment of his case.
And he could come straight home?
Once the formalities have been completed, certainly.
Will he see me? Have me talk to him?
Let me find out.
Tell him he's quite safe. I won't scratch his eyes out.
No. No, I can't see her. I can't.
Will I tell her that, then? It's your final word.
I just don't understand what she wants with me.
Talk to you. Just talk.
Why?
Because...
Why?
Because she's your wife.
She probably just wants to end things between us.
I don't think so. We've spoken to her. I don't think you'll find her antagonistic.
She's here now?
Yes.
No! I'm sorry, no, I can't see her, I can't. I just can't face her.
She can face you.
I don't see the point. She doesn't have to face me. She can't possibly want to see me, and I certainly don't want to see me. It's over between us. It has to be over now.
I don't think you have anything to fear.
I just don't understand what she wants with me.
It's for her to tell you.
All right. All right. Just ask her if she would mind coming in here.
This way. Dr. Butler, your wife is here now. You may have a few minutes together, but the officer will have to remain outside.
Colin. Colin. I want you to come home. Get bail now and come home. We need you there. Jo needs you. She's got more guts than both of us, but she still needs you.
Next on Drama, we catch up with London's finest police. The good folk of Sun Hill are on the beat. In the bill.